And it seems like, and you might have even said this, Aaron, that when the union needs folks to support its issue, it doesn't have a problem
Right.
with saying community come out to this, you know,
Right.
this, and I know I've been to many,
Right.
SEIUs, anybody, you know, because I'm just a supporter of labor. But you may not necessarily have reciprocity with your issues. And I said, I think that's the thing that community people feel like it's like a one-sided partnership here. You want me to come to your stuff, but then when I tell you about my stuff, and I think it's particularly in the black community, because even if you look at the Labor Day parade, it's pretty white.
Yeah.
Pretty white. And so that should be a labor parade that is inclusive of not just labor, but clergy and solidarity from the community, the black community. And you know, folks don't feel like they should be there. They don't feel comfortable. They don't feel like there's a place that they feel solidarity. And so as folks who are getting the kind of training that you've been getting for the last 2 days and that you'll be getting in the future, how do you see changing that dynamic so that you have a union that's responsive to the needs of all of its members, but then is trying to form relationships with those outside of the union? So I get that UFCW took care of its folks in those stores, but there were also people who weren't part of UFCW in those communities that had particular needs. So I want to take a crack at that.
Well, I mean, so I think Jobs with Justice has the perfect frame for this. I mean, you know, you're talking about dealing with faith, labor, student, and community groups, right? That right there is like the four corner. I actually call it the armed forces, and I could go into that metaphor pretty deeply. And where labor really falls when we talk about the armed forces would be the Marines, right? Because they can actually support candidates, and they could also do the grunt work of going door to door, but also being able to connect, as I call it, the primordial waters, the faith groups. That could be the Navy, that they actually, when we talked about this faith-labor alliance, that they're able to really connect with faith leaders and really be able to connect with their congregations in order to get them clear on why it's so important that the work that the labor unions do and supporting that work and being reciprocal is very important for us to really create a more inclusive community. And so through the Jobs Justice umbrella, that is something that can actually work, but it's something that doesn't necessarily have to be in the Jobs Justice, but that's an easy access point in which you have those communications that can be set up between those four groups in which it can be more inclusive and they can actually work together. One of the main things that when we talk about it, when we talk about the triangle, you know, the basis of whatever we do is all about relationships. And if we don't have those relationships, if labor doesn't have those relationships and with student groups, within the community and within faith, then we're talking about the percentage of density going from what, 11 or 13 down to 7, right? And we're starting to lose more and more people because right to work sounds like a good word, right? And so for those who don't know about being in a labor union, that's something that they fall into automatically. So that relationship is key for unions in order to really grow themselves. So I think it's very important for them to really reach out and use vehicles that can help them in that process. And Jobs with Justice is a vehicle that can really help with that.
Other folks want to speak to that? How can the unions, not just UFCW, take care of all of its members, but also create those partnerships outside of the unions?
Umbrella is a term that is used quite often. Not only with individual unions, but with corporations, yada yada. I think it's time that we close the umbrellas. It's kind of almost putting up a wall between each other. I think if we can close that and spread out more, that it would help. I don't know, because I heard you use the word umbrella, so I was like, let's close them. Let's not be, Jobs of Justice or UFCW or Ferguson PD or CBP. Let's shut them down and build those relationships so we can have trust again.
I just,
It's
so
powerful.
many problems, and I don't
There isn't a reason, I don't find a reason that we aren't already together in solidarity. I'm still new to it, so I don't know why we aren't already together. But if the AFL is over all of them, it's gotta be some type of pledge that goes down to, no matter what. If somebody's affected and it's more than a certain amount of people, we all need to jump down on it, put your personal interests to the side. Cause we all wanna see us get better. But America itself, we need some type of revival, we need some type of healing in all our communities so that we can let go of whatever is holding us apart. So.
You might wanna